So if you think it's, oh, I just need to get to the gym, you're wrong. You're fucked. That's not what's going to be the case. It's deeper than that. Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Byron Ovenstone. For those of you who have been here before, thanks for tuning back in. Guys, today we're diving into winning and the concept of winning, because I've been borderline obsessed with this concept for a minute now, really like trying to unpack it and understand what it takes to win. Not just, oh, do the work, but like, what's the psychological stuff that happens in the background? What really has to flow? What has to tick? Where do you have to be in a headspace in order to actually win? So I've been researching a lot of people and trying to unpack their strategies and listen to what they say and how they say it and what is important to them, what are their driving factors. And then I try to condense those fucking 15 or 16 pieces into like 3 or 4 really critical, like face punching kind of things, right? So today I'm going to hit you with those 3 things. Those 3 things that I've kind of come across where I realize that's what it takes to ultimately win. And it's like the formula, the strategy that you have to implement first before you can run the play and ultimately get that result. So what most people think winning takes is like strategy, right? Oh, if I do this right here for long enough, I'm going to win. This is no secret. There's no one on earth that doesn't know that if they eat healthier, cleaner foods, that they're going to look healthier and feel better. Like, none of that is rocket science. So the strategy is abundant. It's everywhere. There is no shortage of information. So if there's no shortage of information and everything we need to know is already out there, it has to be deeper than that. Yes, the strategy matters, and the strategy is what's going to get you the ultimate goal at the finish line, but that has to happen after other things happen first. So I went one layer deeper, and I was like, okay, well, if we're not winning and we're not implementing the strategy, I know the strategy, I know what it's going to take for me to make more money, get healthier, fitter, stronger, etc., but I'm still not driven to make the change. Well, if I'm not driven to make the change, what is the fucking roadblock that I'm bumping into that's stopping me from ultimately executing the strategy? It's not the strategy, it's me. So what the fuck is wrong with me? So I went deeper and I started unpacking more of what the guys were talking about. And these are the heavy hitting guys. You're talking Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, Ed Milet, Andy Frisella. I've been paying attention to a lot of their stuff for a long time. So none of this is unique to me. If you listen to enough of their stuff, you would pick up on this shit too. I just decided to take everything that I've been listening to and try and condense it into as manageable and as bite-sized pieces as I can. So it's not strategy. Strategy matters, but it's not the forefront. It's not the main thing. So then what is it that holds most people back? And for most people, it's their story. What are they telling themselves? On a daily basis, you know where you should eat the fucking chicken Caesar salad rather than the burger, yet you default to the burger every time. Why? What's the methodology behind that? Why do we do that? And then I started unpacking it a little further, and it's because of the story that we tell ourselves. It's the shit that's holding us back, that internal dialogue. Byron 1.0, morbidly obese, he trained every day, but 18 months of starting and stopping and starting and stopping. And the story that I built in my head was that I've tried everything, that no one believes in me. So for a long time, it was like, well, of course I'm going to fail at this because no one truly believes that I can. I didn't need their validation. I didn't need them to believe in me. And the reality is I didn't try everything, because if I had tried everything, I would have fucking won. So the stories that I was building up in my head, oh, this is just not for me. 18 months of this shit, it's just not for me. Maybe I'm destined to be fat. Maybe I'm destined to have kidney issues, heart issues, liver issues, high blood pressure, pre-diabetes, all of that shit. The narrative gets very loud very quick. Well, it's just, that's who I am. That's what I was put on this earth for, because I've tried everything, right? And then you get to a point where you're like, nah, bro, that can't be. It's not my genetics. It's not my parents' fault. It's not Big Pharma's fault. It's not anyone else's fault other than mine. I have to take full ownership of this shit. Okay, So in order for me to do that, I had to literally kill that narrative. I had to kill my own story. All of the shit that I constantly told myself, I had to remind myself that it's bullshit and that it's not real. And that if I lent into my capacity and I truly believed that I was capable of something, I would be able to do it. So, okay, that's pretty profound. That makes sense. So you just kill the bullshit, you kill the negativity and the narrative that you've been telling yourself, you execute a strategy and you win. Yes and no. That's because the main thing behind it all is how you show up. The nicest person on earth, if you meet them on a bad day where they're just in a terrible state of mind, and that's the first time you've ever met them, you will think that that person is an arsehole. Why? Because they're having a bad day and they're probably short-tempered, moody, and the list goes on. So everyone else thinks this guy's amazing. And you're like, nah, he's a fucking dick. I met him and he was an arsehole, right? He was just in the wrong state on that day. Everyone else could think someone's an absolute dick because their track record says so and they've had tenure with those people. You meet them on a day where they're just in a good space and you're like, oh, this person's awesome. So the reality is that when we then unpack that further, it's about your state. It's about your headspace. Because if your state is positive, there's a higher probability you're going to get a positive outcome. If your state is negative, there's a much higher probability you're going to get a negative outcome. So how do you manipulate your state? How do you fuck with it to where you can have full control and understand the state that you need to be in to ultimately get a result that you're shooting for? And Tony Robbins does this like a motherfucker. He's an absolute gangster when it comes to this shit. If you've never been to one of his events, he gets you to change your state super, super quick. He has the ability to literally tap into that and have people going in and out of certain states very, very quickly. He's built a billions of dollar business off the back of just changing people's states. Same as Jordan Belfort, right? Jordan Belfort, he does sales training. And what he does is he gets you to lock in a state. So every time you win a deal, he calls it the boomstick, and it's like it's a little like nasal spray kind of thing. And every time you close a deal, you sniff on that, and then now it just intensifies that state that you're in. And when you're closing deals and you're hitting the boomstick, it just elevates that state beyond like what would consider normal. So he just enhances that to get you to do more. Right, so if you're in a position where you can control your state and you know what it takes to win and that state that you need to be in to win, and you can reverse engineer that, well, now you've created a track record and you've created a blueprint that will ultimately get you whatever you want. So it starts with strategy, of course it does. And then it works into your story and then it changes your state. But in order to actually go the right way and to win, you have to reverse that ladder. You change your state, you kill your story, and then you execute like a son of a bitch. And when you run it that way, you win, and you win big, and you win on a consistent basis because now you have full control over the entire process. It's all good and well having the best strategy on earth, but there'll be days where you just can't be fucked with it. And if you don't kill your story, you will dig deeper. And if you don't change your state, you will not come out for that day. We've all had those off days where our state is just fucked. We're not self-aware enough to change our state and get into a better headspace, so that day just spirals. And at the end of the day, you're like, well, today was a clusterfuck. I just took a fucking L after L after L, and I just want to sleep it. I just want to go to bed and fucking pretend this day never happened. This day did not exist. And you're trying to write it off, right? But if you have the ability to change your state, if you know what it takes to go from a miserable state to a phenomenal state, and you can do it in a quick second, holy shit, you can turn around a bad day and make it a very good day very quickly. And there's a lot of coaches who tap into this on a regular basis. Like you can literally, like if you feel yourself in a terrible space, you can drop down and do 20 push-ups, 20 burpees, go and hit the, pointing behind me as if you know, but there's a boxing bag in my garage. You could hit the boxing bag for 5 minutes. And because you're going to get that endorphin release and you're going to get that exercise and it's going to trigger you to breathe and all that stuff, that too can be a change of state. That can take you out of a negative space and put you into a very positive state very, very quickly. So now if you understand how to manipulate your own space and you're aware of your state at all times, and you make sure that on a regular basis you're manipulating your state for the better, and that you're approaching everything in the right headspace, and then you action the right strategy and you kill your story, now you win. So most of you guys that are struggling with your fitness goals, that are struggling with your headspace, that are starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping, it's because you haven't dialed in those 3 metrics yet. You have all of the strategies under the sun. I've given you 100 of them. You can follow my Instagram, you'll get 100 more. You can follow literally anyone on Instagram. They'll give you PDF after PDF. There is no shortage of workout PDFs on the internet. Fuck, you could just go into ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, build me out a workout protocol 4 days a week, and I want to get stronger, and I only have access to a barbell and a pull-up bar, and it'll build you out a workout program. So that's not the trick. So if you think it's, oh, I just need to get to the gym, you're wrong. You're fucked. That's not what's going to be the case. It's deeper than that. It's the story you tell yourself, the amount of times you've tried and quit, and then you now start believing in your head that fitness is not for you. Oh, I just can't track my nutrition because it's too hard, or I don't know enough about macronutrients and micronutrients, so I can't do it, or whatever other bullshit story you tell yourself, right? Or it's my genetics just suck, I've got big bones, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Bullshit story after bullshit story. So you guys are not hiring a coach like myself to give you a plan and just go on your way. If you already understand how to change your state and you've already killed your story, then all you need from me is a plan. At which point you come in my lowest entry level ticket, it's fucking $8 a day or something like that. I'll give you a plan and I'll hold your feet to the fire. But for the most part, most of you, you need more. Just a plan is not enough, which is why you consistently fail, which is why you need a fucking coach in the first place, because you are trying the same thing over and over and over again and you're hoping for a different result. And you will never see that result because you're playing the same fucking game and you're not getting any smarter in it. You're not leveling up, you're not killing your story, and you're not changing your state. So what a coach does is he helps you identify your story, helps you identify where you have your limiting beliefs. And that's just another fancy ass way of saying your fucking story. Reality is we're identifying your limiting beliefs and why they're holding you back. And we're going to start chipping away and breaking those limiting beliefs and get you actually believing that you could be someone that can achieve this goal. You could be someone who has abs. We're letting you identify that you have the capacity within you and you've been restraining yourself. You've been dialing back that thermostat. And then once we get you starting to believe that shit, now how can we add gas to that fire? How do we get you doing shit more often and just fucking like a steam train with no brakes? How do we turn you into that kind of animal? We learn your state. We change your headspace for the better so that you're constantly firing on all cylinders. And that is the true recipe to success. That is how you win across not just your fitness, your nutrition, but in anything across this game called life. When you dial in those 3 things and you have them firing for you on all cylinders, it doesn't matter what your goal is. You will make it happen and you will absolutely win. Because now you're in a position where you can control your state and you can control your narrative and you have the strategy. So no 2 days will be the same. You're not running that Groundhog Day play where you're like, oh God, I'm schlepping through fucking molasses again today to get a result. Oh, droopy, poor me, fucking negative headspace Nancy. No, you're firing on all cylinders. You're fucking raring to go. Alarm goes off at 2:45 and your feet hit the pavement and you're like, let's fucking send it. No one's stopping me today because I'm in the right state. I have a fucking strategy that's bulletproof and I killed the fucking bullshit. I believe I can do this. I believe that I have the capacity to fucking achieve whatever it is I want. Now you are unstoppable. Now you're a fucking savage. So there's the 3 parts. If you need more, there's a link in my description box below. Click that. Speak to one of my coaches. Tell them you want to do either tier 1 or tier 2. Tier 1, you either work with me or Nick on a 1-to-1 basis. Very high price point, not for broke boys. If you're looking to come in on the tier 2, much more affordable, you'll coach with one of our coaches who we've coached. They too will help you identify your state, help you change it on a consistent basis. We will fucking destroy that bullshit story you tell yourself, and we will give you the fucking strategy that works for you, built around you, your lifestyle, your habits, your consistencies, your disciplines. And now there is nothing that can stop you. I hope you guys liked today's video. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers for now.